Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda Godfrey and I am a white witch and I'm the college principal here at Mystical Dragon. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about adding energy in to all the things that we do, or at the very least all the things that we do which we feel are important. So fairly regularly here on Mystical Dragon's page, we tend to share little recipes, such as little incense blends that you could create out of your own dried herbs and resins, or such as yesterday, we shared a floor wash recipe. And of course, with things like your floor wash recipe, we could actually just simply get our bucket of hot water, add our so many drops of the required oils, and away we go, because of course those oils, those essential oils that we're using, do have properties of their own which will of course work for us. The same with incense blends and things like that. Those herbs will of course have properties that will be assisting us in whatever it is, whatever the purpose is for why we are creating them. However, what I really encourage you to do is to think about where you feel it's appropriate to add further energy, and that further energy being your own energy and of course your intent for why you are doing things as well. Personally, I find in my own practice that this is actually a simple thing that I can do which adds a lot of energy and a lot of power. And you can really find that it can enhance the results that you're looking for in really significant ways. So that's why I felt it was important to talk a little bit about it today. So for instance, with our floor wash, when we're adding oils, of course, unless you really want to, or you know that perhaps that sage oil, you're only ever going to use it in spells, potions and recipes for, let's say, cleansing in this instance, so it'll always be for cleansing and clearing, then you could charge up your whole bottle of sage. But aside from that, it's a little bit tricky to charge up your sage oil with intent. So here's what I recommend for recipes like that. I actually take a bowl and I put some water in the bowl. So it doesn't have to be a huge bowl, certainly not your full bucket. And then I get my oil and I add my however many drops of oil that need to go in to my whole recipe. So yesterday's recipe called for 9 drops of sage and 9 drops of lavender. So I would put those 9 and 9 drops into my bowl of water. And then I would actually charge this bowl of water up with my intent. So for instance, with our floor wash, our intent was to not only clean and wash the space, but also to bring a real cleansing and purifying energy in. And we can also add that healing energy as well. So to charge this up, we can simply put our hands over the bowl. It doesn't have to be in the water, it's just simply over the bowl, adding our energy. Now, we need to really focus and concentrate on that intent, so that cleansing and purifying the space, that healing the space, maybe creating a really healing space for anyone that comes through that space. And we really focus on that. When we focus on it, we want to see that. We want to see that outcome. So essentially, you want to visualize that outcome taking place. You want to feel that outcome. What does it feel like if that space is clean and it is cleansed and purified and there is healing that starts to take place, or it's nurturing to be able to help facilitate healing? What does that look like? What does that feel like? You can even create an affirmation, like a nice, short, positive statement that connects with your intent that you could repeat over and over again while you're doing that charging. So that charging is adding some of your energy into whatever it is you're doing, but it is also really strongly adding the exact intent of what it is that you are looking for to create. And I always take a good few minutes to do that myself. And then in the case of our floor wash, then you can tip that water into your larger bucket that you are literally going to be using to mop the floors with. So that is fully charged, and that will actually, once we add it into our larger bucket, it will actually imbue the rest of the bucket with that energy. And it will be effective to work that way. So that way you don't have to charge directly over a larger bucket. You can if you would like to, and if that felt most appropriate to you to do it that way, certainly you could do the same thing over your larger bucket that you're going to do your mopping and washing the floors with. Equally, there's many things that we can do. So if we had herbs, for instance, dried loose herbs, you can put them in a bowl. And I always like to run my fingers through the loose herbs and add my energy intent that way. So I'm running my fingers through if I'm creating an incense blend and putting my energy and intent in just the same way. So you want to know why it is that you're creating that blend and then add in that energy in the same way, visualizing it, feeling it, affirming it, and take a good few minutes to put your energy and the intent that you have for whatever you're creating into those items before you go and burn them, before you use them in your floor wash, before you use it in whatever way it is that you are planning to use those herbs or oils or whatever ingredients it is. Equally, we can do the same sort of thing with things like particularly herbal tea. So lots of us drink herbal tea, but drink it without too much thought about aside from maybe flavor, about what it is that we are going to consume. And even if you are thinking about, oh, I'm going to drink some peppermint tea to help settle my stomach, it is actually can be really beneficial to charge up your herbal tea. It is still herbs that's inside that tea bag. And so I like to try and take a moment to charge that up as well and put some energy and intent in. So in the case of your peppermint tea, it might be, you know, bringing some healing energy to really help settle your tummy and settle it quickly. Or it might be that you're looking for something to really pep you up and give you a little bit more energy and a bit more go. So you could put that energy and intent in. Whatever it is, even if you decided you don't necessarily have a specific reason, it's just the flavor. All of our herbs have a healing energy to some degree. So taking a moment to charge up your tea bag with just healing intent is a really beautiful thing to do. And you will find that when we take the time to do this sort of thing, that it actually can add a really nice flavor into foods, into our tea. So it can just make it, and I can't even put it into more words aside from make it taste better. It has like this subtly and sometimes significantly really nice flavor that intent can bring into our food by adding loving and healing intents into what it is that we're going to consume. And you can find that peppermint tea might seem to work that little bit more effectively just by taking a minute to charge up those herbs with your intent. And the more that we do it, the more that we really focus on it, the more magic that we add into our lives, and the more that we're really getting into that energy of magic and wonder and this beautiful energy flow within our own lives as well. So just a little tip, maybe a little something that you might think about considering adding into your own life in some way. And I hope that you find it to be a valuable tip for yourself in the future.